On this episode, we're going to be talking about transporting your trail bike. So let's start up with the most important piece of equipment you can own, and you should even get it before you get the bike. That's these tie downs. So get yourself a good quality set of tie downs. You should have these well before you've even bought the bike. This is a Father's Day present, a Valentine's Day present, or a birthday present you should be asking for. Definitely go out and get these. Even if you don't get the bike, they're still quite handy, but they are fantastic on the bike. And the reason I say that, every rider that wants to go trail bike riding should have a set of tie downs, regardless of whether they have the bike or not. And whether you have the trailer or not. If you got going trail bike riding and you got the bike, definitely should have these. Even if you've got a mate coming to pick you up out of the goodness of his heart, you shouldn't be asking him for tie downs. You should have your own. These are the one things I say never to skimp out on price. Don't go cheap. Don't buy those cheap $10 ratchet sets so you can get a pack of 4 for $10. They're there to hold your pride and joy. You can use those $10 set to hold other things down, and maybe you can tie other things down with them, but definitely not your pride and joy. You definitely want a good set. These ones are, believe it or not, 17 years old. I do look after them. They do get well used. These have served me well. Never had them fail. They're easy to use, and we'll have a quick look at that in the next clip. So the reason I've gone transport as my next episode is quite simply, you've got to transport your bike. You have to have the transport sorted even before you pick your bike up. So what do you need? Well, have a look what you have first. What car do you have? Does it have a tow bar? My recommendation, if you've got 2 cars, always use the cheaper one because it's going to get dirty. You're going to get a lot of dust, dirt, mud, and all those sort of nasty things, and you really don't be traipsing that into your nice car. I'm quite fortunate I have a single Cape Ute, but that's got limitations. I can only take one person. Dual Cape Utes, the tray is okay for smaller bikes, but it won't fit a full-size bike unless you leave the tray down. There is an accessory you can get that actually has a tray, actually goes around and protects the back of the tyre and holds it in place, and it also doubles as a ramp. Check that out. But most of us have just got standard cars, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, is that good enough? Well, check the towing capacity on your car. Bikes aren't overly heavy. They're about 100 odd kilos each. Not overly heavy. By the time you factor another 2 bikes in, not a problem. Your standard a standard 7x4 trailer can cope with it. Anyway, let's go have a look at my bike trailer here. We'll have a quick look at it. Top tip, if you get a trailer made up, get the rims the same as your car. These ones were off a VX Commodore because my brother-in-law had a VX Commodore at the time, and it just gave him an extra spare. Doesn't have the VX Commodore anymore, so we ended up fitting the spare tyre to the front. Never leave the home without a spare tyre, because nothing worse than getting a flat and being stuck in the middle of nowhere. We added this bit of checker plate just to make life a bit easier. We could put the tent on there and strap it down. Now, as you can see, it's a three bike trailer, but you can actually make it into a 4th. You can fit 3 standard bikes on there, and the cheap ramp, we actually drilled a hole, and that ramp goes across there, and we can actually fit a smaller bike there, like a Pee-wee 50. Utilise this tie down point and this tie down point, and also we also strapped tyres to the tyres on the Pee-wee to the tyres on the 2 bikes either side. Never come off. It was fantastic. Just two provisions for fuel cans. Now, here's where I say you don't need a bike trailer. So yeah, you can get this channel made up, and just some supports. Have that welded on, and there's that will fit on your trailer nicely. Just have two bolt points. Oh, bit of rust coming through. Drill a hole either end. Same on the trailer, and you can actually secure that to a 7x5 trailer, 7x4 trailer. Depends on how many bikes you've got, but a regular trailer will serve you better than one of these. But if you want one of these, they've got their advantages too. It's quite quick to load the bikes up, and there's designed specifically for towing motorcycles. So, do you need a bike trailer? I like bike trailers. They're designed specifically to get the bikes on and off the trailer. They've got all the tie-down points. They are so easy. Their shortcoming is that's all they are. They're a bike trailer. You want to pick up a mattress, bike trailer's not going to do it. You want to move boxes and things like that, bike trailer's no good for that. If you had to buy a trailer to transport the bikes, I'd be looking at a 7x5 or an 8x5. Reason for that is you can tie it down, you can add all your riding equipment, chairs, tables, whatever you need to take with you, tools, it can all go on the trailer. Where the bike trailer, that's all got to go in your car. So definitely, if you're looking to get a trailer, look at getting a 7x5 or an 8x5 trailer, or even a 7x4 will take up to 3 bikes. If you've only got 2 bikes, a 7x4 trailer is more than enough. You just simply don't have the space to store a bike trailer, or any sort of trailer for that matter. Well, have you thought about hiring one? Kennard's does one for about $200 over the weekend, but you can do a lot better than that. Check the ads. Hiring one's not a bad option, especially if you can get it for about $150 over the weekend. If you just say you've done that 4 times a year, that's $600. Admittedly, you could probably buy a second-hand trailer, but then you've got to store it, register it, and look after it yourself. Where this one, you just hand back at the end. So regardless if you get a bike trailer or not, I would still go out and purchase one of these ramps. You can get these quite cheaply from... This one's an Audi one, and I've had it for a number of years. I've done a review on it before, and it's fantastic. Highly recommended. They're about $80 at a motorcycle shop. They're probably a bit around the $100 mark. The reason I say these are better than the ramp that comes with the trailer, it's a lot wider and it's less likely to flex and turn while you're loading the bike on, which I've had happen to me, and you're less likely for the bike to fall off the ramp. You've got more width. Easy to roll the bike up and down onto your trailer. I use this on a single tray ute. Fantastic. So you're thinking about getting a ute, and I can say they are fantastic for loading bikes on and off. Things to watch out for: the actual clearance of the tray itself. Now, the problem with this one is it's about a metre off the ground, or just over 3 feet. Loading it onto the ute can be a bit problematic, especially when you're on your own. A ute with an actual tub tray would be better because they sit a lot lower. I had a Proton Jumbuck. I could load the Moto Guzzi Grisso onto the back of that. So if you do have a ute, a recommendation I would have is one of those square steps that you can pick up from any hardware store. They're not going to fall over. It's much safer than trying to use a milk crate. I like using the single cab. The tray's 2.3 metres, so I can fit just about any bike onto it. But at the end of the day, I won't go much bigger than a mid-sized bike. Things like the Kawasaki CV125, any of my trail bikes, even the Ducati, I have loaded it onto the back, but again, I feel a lot more comfortable the heavier the bike, using the bike trailer. Lighter bikes, not a problem on the back, but in saying that, I could probably pretty much put anything on there. Just got to be aware, you've got to be able to hold the weight, and if it goes pear-shaped, you've got to be able to make sure that bike doesn't fall. So another good present are these wheel chocks, and there's all different types. I started with this one, and it just fits underneath there. When you tie it down with the tie downs, it stops you from overly compressing the front forks. I found this one to be a lot better because it fits, there's more points of contact. It's meant to be easy to tie the bike down on your own. So, which one would I choose? Probably none of them. I no longer use these. I find them a pain. I just make it enough so the bike doesn't want to move. You don't need to pull it all the way down and potentially damage your front forks. In the back of the ute, I only use the 2 tie downs. I don't care if the rear tyre jumps around too much. If it does get too much, I can always use additional rope just to hold the tyre in place. It's not going to fall off. Your main concern is making sure you get the front tied down so it's got nowhere to go. If you don't take anything out of this bit other than one thing, make sure it is get yourself a good set of tie downs, and one's designed specifically for bikes. It's so much quicker and it's so much better than using those stupid ratchet ones These you pull down, they hold. They don't get. There's no give to them. They won't let go. Just get yourself a good set. You won't regret it. Anyway, on that note, thanks very much for watching. If you found the video useful, please give it a like, share, and if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. And that's pretty much it from me. Anyway, take care, and I'll catch you on the next vid.